Joining me now, candidate for Lieutenant Governor for the great state of Virginia, John Reed, and founder of the Pennsylvania Chase and CEO of Citizens Alliance, our friend Cliff Maloney. Both joining me. There they are, John and Cliff. Hello, gentlemen. How we doing?
Hey.
Doing great.
Thanks for literally pulling off the road, Cliff. And John, thanks for stopping at an event and finding a room and jumping on camera. I know when it's 24 hours out to an election, you guys are campaigning nonstop. You're knocking on doors, you're kissing babies and shaking hands. So John, we'll start with you before you got to run. How's it looking? I can't even believe that you and Winsome are even neck and neck. You two should be blowing these ridiculous, disgusting Democrats out of the water in that state. What's the reaction out there in the field?
Yeah, look, people are just starting to pay attention. You know, the rest of the world has life, and they're not obsessed with politics like we are. So they're beginning to look at the candidates. They're looking closely at the positions that we have articulated. And I think that the undecideds, and there's a significant portion of them in my race, supposedly almost 8% undecided, they're breaking for the Republicans. We're reasonable, nice. We're responsible, and we're going to build a strong economy. And it was the Democrats who taught me that it's the economy, stupid, right? So you want to go with the Republicans who are pro-business.
Well, and John, I'll throw one more at you. You know, it seemed like Winsome's current boss and the predecessor there in the Gov seat, Mr. Youngkin, played up a lot on education when he had his big win. Are you finding out on the campaign trail one of the biggest things that folks are still talking about with you? Or is it more the economy, the stopping endless wars, stopping the invasion, closing the border? What's the big one? Because when Glenn ran, it was a lot about education. I mean, you got Loudoun and Fairfax counties that just push some garbage in your state.
Yeah. Look, the trans insanity continues to be a problem in Virginia, and the disrespect to parents has not stopped, even though Governor Youngkin and Winsome Sears have tried to be reasonable and stop it. The Democrats are insistent that they run the schools, they run your life, that the kids are not your children, they're their children. And I don't think parents are going to go for that. So that's been a part of what I've talked about. You know, my opponent, Ghazala Hashmi, is the chairwoman of the State Education Committee. So everything you despise about the schools, she's the one pushing it. I don't think people are going to go for her.
Well, there's your campaign pitch right now in the last 24 hours. Do you want the woke crap in your public schools? Then don't vote for her. Vote for me. There you go. Right. Let's move over to Cliff. Cliff, let's talk a little Jersey. I know you've been helping out with that one. You did such great work in Pennsylvania last time around. And I know that they're going to be doing these phone call bank type things. What is it? Later tonight, President Trump's even going to help out with the one, I think, for Virginia and Jersey. How's it over there looking? The polls are neck and neck. Again, I don't put a lot of stock in polls because we saw Trump blow polls out of the water the last 3 times he ran. But what are you seeing over there, Cliff?
Yeah, look, I'm on the ground right now in Jersey. Like I said, I pulled over. I told you I'd do the show to give an update.
Thank you.
Look, voters are excited, right? Voters are pumped up. This is the first time a Republican's had a real shot in Jersey in over a decade.
Whoa.
And the polls, I would say the polls are probably pretty accurate. This is going to be an extremely close race. And Dan, let me announce one number on your show that is so important. 64,000. There are 64,000 registered Republicans in New Jersey that have requested a mail-in ballot, and it is still on their dining room table. That is the final close right now. For the next 24 hours, it's A, getting every one of those folks to deliver their mail-in ballot, and B, making sure that we absolutely rock turnout on Election Day. If Jack Ciattarelli wins Election Day by over 250,000 votes, I think he is the next governor of New Jersey. But we need every Republican to show up. The fact that Jersey is in play, it's a huge compliment to the Trump administration, to the Trump legacy, to all Republicans, that we have a chance at flipping New Jersey.
And I think Trump thinks Jack can pull it off because he's been getting very vocal the last few days. And again, you don't see POTUS jump into ones if he doesn't think that the endorsement or the backing is actually going to help. I mean, let's be real. If something is so diehard blue, double digits, that even a Trump recommendation, endorsement, picking up the phone ain't going to help, then he's not going to do it. So obviously, this is neck and neck. It looks like Jack can pull it out in Jersey. That would be amazing. I want to go back to John and ask something. Did I hear this right last week, John? Did I hear that the NAACP endorsed, is it Spanberger is her name, the liberal white Democrat running for governor instead of the Marine veteran, black female entrepreneur, lieutenant governor, your running mate, Winsome Sears, who's running for governor. Did the NAACP go with the white lady instead of Winsome?
Well,
Did I get that right?
Yeah, I listen. They're trying to say that they didn't endorse, but you know what would happen if you had a black woman, former
Well, isn't
Marine,
Barack
who's
out
an
there supporting her?
immigrant,
Barack
who's
Obama?
a Democrat. Yeah, Obama was there. You know, people go to see a former president. I don't think it's a big deal that Obama showed up. No one cares what he thinks. They just want a photo with him. But it is remarkable that we know that if Winsome Sears had a D behind her name, she'd be on the cover of Time magazine. And instead, they're dumping on her and ignoring her. And she is a great woman who is, I think, poised to become the next governor.
Yes, amen. I want to see you two in charge of that great state and just keep things going and turning around like Glenn Youngkin has been doing during his term.
That's right.
Gentlemen, I'll give you the final word just on the big push on how important these races are. And I've got pretty much this whole show is dedicated to the races: Jersey, Virginia, New York City, and Prop 50 out in California. These 4 races tomorrow on Tuesday, to me, are going to be a big precursor and setup for midterms and for all sorts of things. I'll give you guys the final push and word on any of these races. Cliff, go ahead.
Yeah, look, if folks want to get involved in New Jersey, njchase.com, njchase.com. And look, Jack Ciattarelli winning this, obviously we're rooting for you guys in Virginia, but Jack Ciattarelli winning while we have New York City becoming a socialist hellhole is quite the dichotomy right next door. So to me, you know, every person in Jersey, let's send a message that the blue collar party is now the Republican Party. The elitist bubble of New York City proves, I mean, they're voting for a socialist. He's going to be the next mayor. So Jack winning is that much more important, but we need every Republican to vote tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw Jack's team literally say, hey, if Zoran wins, give us a call. You can move on over here to Jersey. We'll help you out with moving expenses. We'll give you a discount if you're leaving New York. John, final word to you on your race or any of the important races tomorrow.
Well, Cliff is right to bring up New York. In fact, if you follow the money, you know, they say follow the money. The money that's being pumped into Virginia is from the same radical socialists and radical Islamists who are supporting Mamdani. They are supporting my opponent, trying to pump her up as lieutenant governor. They have pumped in, 8 times as much money as I have raised. We're going to prove that money doesn't win in Virginia. Hard work and responsible policies do. And that's why I'm excited about tomorrow. I think I'm on the verge of pulling off a big win.
Well, Glenn and Winsome did it last time around. I think you and her can do it this time around. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Best of luck tomorrow. We've got to hold the Republic. We did it last fall. I think we can keep this train rolling. Cliff Maloney, check him out, founder Pennsylvania Chase, CEO Citizens Alliance, and your candidate, and hopefully the next lieutenant governor of the great state of Virginia, John Reed. Gentlemen, get back after it. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yep.